Chapter 427. When Stephen saw that Alex was already losing his patience, he hurriedly waved his hands and instructed his men, "Beat him up now." A group of strong men rushed forward immediately before surrounding Mr. Hale, and they started punching and kicking him. They only stopped when he had already been beaten almost half dead. Mr. Hale lay on the ground as he cried out in pain. However, the worst had yet to come. At this time, Stephen suddenly said coldly, "I will give you half a day to leave Orris Hill. If I still see you loitering around Orris Hill tomorrow, I will kill you with my bare hands." The dying Mr. Hale coughed weakly before saying, "Don Stephen, please have mercy on me and give me 3 days of grace at least. Let me treat my injuries before I leave." "You can go to the next province to receive treatment instead," Stephen replied icily. "Call your family and ask them to hire an ambulance to take you away. Make sure that you stay away from Orris Hill from now on. If you die, make sure that you die in another place. Moreover, you are also not allowed to come back to Orris Hill for your burial ceremony. Otherwise, I will definitely dig up your grave and dispose of your ashes so that no one can pay their respects to you anymore." Mr. Hale was so frightened that he could not help but to freeze in place as he lay on the ground for a long time. This was just too cruel. He would be better off dead. He was not allowed to come back to Orris Hill, and he could not even be buried in Orris Hill after his death. Right then and there, Mr. Hale really wanted to die. However, he knew that he could only blame himself. Adam had placed him in charge of the Pinewood Resort because he wanted him to serve the customers well and make sure that every one of them was given the fair and right treatment. However, to make life better for himself, Mr. Hale would always favor certain customers over the others. What was even worse was the fact that he actually instructed the security guards working for the Pinewood Resort to beat up other guests because of Ethan. This was a serious case of negligence on his behalf. He even dared to provoke an honorable guest that even Chairman Smith had to be so respectful toward. Alex was already being very gracious, and he was already showing him a lot of kindness by allowing him to live. Therefore, Mr. Hale could only tremble while he took out his cell phone as he cried and asked his family to help him hire an ambulance so that they could send him to the next city to receive treatment for his injuries immediately. After he was done dealing with Mr. Hale, Stephen looked at Alex before he smiled and said, "Mr. Anderson, do you want me to accompany you to get your check-in procedures done?" Alex shook his head before saying, "Forget it. You should finish dealing with this matter. I can go in by myself." Stephen nodded quickly before he said, "All right, then, we will not leave yet. Mr. Anderson, you can call me anytime you need me." Alex nodded before he looked at Emma and Mia and said, "Let's go in first." Mia finally regained her senses at this time as she looked at Alex with eyes that were filled with unconcealed love and admiration. This really gave everyone around him a sense of security. As long as he was by her side, she felt very at ease. Mia felt that she would not be afraid even if the sky was falling. The Pinewood Resort was a private hot spring. All the customers had a private suite. There was a yard covering an area of about 100 square meters behind the suite, and the private hot spring was located in the yard. The water in the hot spring was drawn from the underground hot spring, and it flowed into the hot spring pool continuously, 24 hours a day. Therefore, the temperature of the hot spring was always at a very suitable and optimum level. When Adam found out that Alex was here, he hurriedly arranged for his hotel staff to upgrade their rooms to the best of the top-notch suites. And they were assigned to 2 super large and luxurious bedrooms. Even the hot springs in their private suites were much larger compared to the other rooms. They also had a more pleasant and beautiful view of the scenery from their rooms. As soon as they entered the room, Emma and Mia were very happy as they looked at the environment and the scenery outside the room. Mia hurriedly urged Emma and said, "Emma, hurry up and change into your swimsuit quickly. Let's jump into the hot spring to relieve our fatigue." "Okay," Emma nodded and agreed immediately as she was also very happy. Alex had originally thought that he would have the chance to see his beautiful wife changing into her swimsuit. Unexpectedly, both the girls went into the same room instead.